Imagine a housekeeper richer than her cruel boss, secretly plotting revenge. A single document changes everything. Welcome to Dark Voices, where secrets unravel and justice strikes. Stay tuned, you won't believe what happens next. A piercing scream shattered the quiet morning inside the Montgomery mansion. It came from Celeste Montgomery, the only daughter of the family. She stood in the center of her massive bedroom, clutching a cup of coffee. "Amara, what is wrong with this coffee? It's salty." Amara Clark rushed into the room. She instantly lowered her head to dodge Celeste's staggered glare. In Amara's mind, her little plan had worked. She had deliberately added a pinch of salt to her employer's coffee. "I'm so sorry, Miss Celeste. I must have mistaken the salt for sugar." "Are you stupid? Salt and sugar don't even look the same. That's what happens when you're a small-town girl. Your job is so simple, and you still can't do it right. Throw this out and make me a new one. Hurry." "Yes, ma'am. I'm sorry." Amara took the cup and left the room, a secret smile touching her lips at this tiny act of payback. But what's Amara hiding? Stick with Dark Voices, because this MAID secret will blow your mind. In the kitchen, she tossed the coffee and made a fresh one. As she stirred, she heard Celeste raging in the living room into her phone. "What do you mean? It was declined? That's impossible. I used that card just yesterday. Try it again. I need that bag. It's the latest from Chanel." Amara peeked through the kitchen door. Celeste's face was flushed with anger as she argued with the person on the other end. After a moment, Celeste slammed the phone down. "Useless. Every last one of you is useless." Amara pretended she hadn't heard a thing. She brought the new coffee to Celeste. "Ma'am, here's your coffee." Celeste snatched the cup without even looking. She dropped onto the sofa and flicked the TV on with a huff. Amara knew the conversation was over. She turned away to return to her chores. When she finished her tasks, Amara slipped into her tiny room and took a secret smartphone from a box. Once online, she checked on her thriving food business, Billionaire Kitchen. Hundreds of new orders poured in, and the profits were in the thousands of dollars. There she saw a message from Leo: "Good morning, boss. The garlic steak bites are sold out again today. Lots of people are asking when they'll be available next." Amara smiled before replying. Leo Carter was the business manager and face of Billionaire Kitchen. What no one knew was that Amara, a housekeeper pretending to be simple, was the real mind behind the successful brand. "Good morning, Leo. Tell them next week. For now, I'm focusing on the new pasta dishes. I'll send you the inventory list later." "Got it, boss. Stay safe." Amara put the phone away and took out a faded photo of her parents. It fueled her slow, methodical revenge to reclaim everything the Montgomerys had taken. She returned to reality to cook lunch and play the part of Amara Clark. But she knew the day was near when she would introduce herself as Amara DeLeon. Carefully, she cooked Celeste's favorite, chicken adobo, American style, so Celeste wouldn't explode, and served it at noon. Perfect timing. Celeste came downstairs to the nines, as if she had someplace important to go, then sat before the food. "What's this? Adobo again? Aren't you sick of it? You keep making the same thing." "I'm sorry, ma'am. I thought it was your favorite." "It is my favorite, but it gets old. Don't you know how to cook anything else? My God, I pay you to cook, not to serve me the same thing all week." Amara stayed quiet. She knew she could never win. The food wasn't the problem. Celeste was still boiling over the declined credit card and needed somewhere to dump the rage. "Never mind. Eat by yourself. I've lost my appetite." Celeste stood and started to leave, then turned back to Amara. "By the way, I've got a party tonight. I want you to wash my Valentino dress. It's already in the laundry basket. Hand wash only with the special detergent. Don't use the machine, and don't you dare stain it, or you're fired." "Yes, ma'am." When Celeste left, Amara exhaled and looked at the food on the table. All that effort wasted. After eating, Amara fetched Celeste's expensive white dress to wash it. A wicked idea struck when she saw a red sock in the laundry area. She deliberately washed the sock with the dress, turning the white gown a soft pink. Then she hid the dress and tossed the sock. The next morning, when Celeste returned to check the dress, a shriek split the air. "Amara, what did you do to my dress?" Amara sprinted to the laundry area and found Celeste gripping the now light pink gown, shaking with rage. "Why is this pink? I told you to be careful, and you ruined it. It's a Valentino. You're so stupid." Amara began to cry, fake tears she had perfected. "Ma'am, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean it. I followed all your instructions. I don't know why the color turned out like that. You're useless. You clearly don't understand luxury. You're fired. Get out of this house right now." Amara wailed louder and begged. "Ma'am, please don't fire me. I have nowhere else to go. I must be tired and made a mistake. Please forgive me." Celeste paused despite her fury. She knew finding a new live-in maid would be hard. It was tough to trust someone new. And for all her idiocy, Amara was obedient and never complained. "Fine, I won't fire you, but you'll pay for it. Understand? I'll deduct it from your salary, even if it takes a year to repay. Now get out of my sight." "Thank you, ma'am." "Thank you." Amara hurried away. In the kitchen, she wiped her fake tears and smiled. Losing a slice of her paycheck was worth it for the sight of Celeste seething. That afternoon, a delivery arrived for Celeste. Amara went to the gate to receive it. When she opened it, the familiar face of Leo greeted her, smiling as he handed over a paper bag. "Package for Miss Celeste." Amara took it. "Thanks, Leo. How are you, Amara? You okay? Your eyes look puffy. Just a little drama earlier. You know how it is." Leo sighed and looked past her at the huge house. "I don't know how you stand it. If it were me, I'd have left a long time ago." "Soon, Leo, just a little longer. It's all part of the plan. Then be careful. Call me if you need anything or if you just want to talk. Don't carry it all alone." Amara gave him a warm smile. He was her only ally in this war. "Thanks, Leo. You should go before anyone sees us." He nodded, climbed on his motorcycle, and watched her until she disappeared inside with the package and with new steel in her spine for the days ahead. Night fell, and Amara sat awake in her room, holding the photograph that reminded her of everything. 10 years earlier, her father, Greg DeLeon, and Celeste's father, Richard Montgomery, had been business partners, best friends. Their families were equals. Together, they built DeLeon Montgomery Textiles, one of the largest fabric companies in the country. Greg was the mind behind operations. Richard handled client funds. "Don't worry, partner. We'll make this the biggest, most successful company in the industry." Greg trusted him completely until Richard betrayed him. In secret, Richard forged documents to take out bank loans, then framed Greg for embezzlement. Amara's father was arrested, and their family shattered. Richard emerged the hero and launched his own Montgomery Industries. Greg couldn't take the betrayal and humiliation. He suffered a heart attack and died. At her father's funeral, the young Amara swore she would take everything back and destroy the Montgomery family. She tucked the photo away and pulled out her secret phone. She searched for news about Montgomery Industries and found an article. The company was failing, drowning in debt due to poor management, investors fleeing. A cold smile crossed Amara's lips. She decided to stay in the mansion to witness their fall with her own eyes, and when they hit the bottom, she would deliver the final blow that would finish them for good. Days passed, and the tension inside the mansion thickened. One morning, while mopping the floor near the library, Amara heard Celeste's parents arguing loudly. Richard and Ella Lenina Montgomery were at each other's throats. "Ella Lenina, don't you understand? We're losing millions every day. We have to cut expenses. Cut what, Richard? Sell my jewelry? Stop shopping? What will my friends say? Our reputation is at stake. What reputation are we protecting if the company collapses? We'll have nothing, Elalina. We have to sell assets. We might have to sell this house. What? This house? I won't allow it. We grew old here. Celeste grew up here. No, absolutely not. Amara acted as if she hadn't heard anything and kept mopping. Inside, she felt a dangerous joy. The article had been right. The Montgomery Foundation was crumbling. The parents' stress flowed down to Celeste, who took it out on Amara. When Celeste came down for breakfast, she eyed the food on the table. Amara, what kind of hot dogs are these? They taste cheap. Ma'am, that's the brand you always buy. Liar. You probably bought the cheap ones and pocketed the change. Are you a thief? That's not true, ma'am. You can check the receipt. Don't you talk back to me. For that, you're getting a punishment. Organize all my shoes in the walk-in closet by color and brand. Clean them all now. In Celeste's walk-in closet, Amara smirked at the rows of designer shoes. She picked up Celeste's favorite Christian Louboutin heels, the pair she knew Celeste would wear to tonight's party. Using a tiny metal pick, Amara carefully loosened the screw hidden inside the heel so it wouldn't be obvious. It would snap under weight. Then she put the shoes back as if nothing had happened. That afternoon, Leo showed up, pretending to collect recyclables, an excuse so they could talk longer. They met behind the house where the bins were stacked. Looks like the dragon's even crankier today. Let her. The angrier she is, the more I know it's working. Amara handed Leo a thick brown envelope. Here, this week's earnings. Deposit it. Thanks. Leo peeked inside and saw fat stacks of cash. Wow, De Leon Kitchen is on fire. If only the Montgomerys knew their housekeeper owns it. Soon, Leo. They'll find out soon. I heard her parents this morning. They're planning to sell the house. Then it's time. Talk to our attorney. Tell him to get ready for the auction. Yes, boss. But please be careful. If they find out, I can protect myself. Thanks for worrying. They held each other's gaze, and something deeper than friendship and business began to bloom. After Leo left, Amara went back inside. From upstairs, Celeste's voice boomed. Amara, where are my Louboutins? The red ones. Find them. I'm wearing them tonight. Amara smiled. Showtime. She brought Celeste the sabotaged shoes. Celeste slipped them on and admired herself in the mirror. Perfect. They go with my new dress. She strode out of the room, brimming with confidence, walked the hallway, and started down the grand staircase, unaware that each step brought her closer to a very public embarrassment. Amara followed silently, waiting for the fall. With full confidence, Celeste descended the grand staircase. At the bottom, her parents, Richard and Elalina, waited. They were headed to a high society event, a chance to show the world the Montgomerys were still standing despite the rumors. Celeste, darling, you look stunning. Love the dress. Of course, mother, it's new. Celeste was halfway down. On the next step, her weight shifted onto the Louboutin heel. A sharp crack rang out. She lost her balance, tumbled down the remaining steps, and landed on the expensive carpet. It wasn't catastrophic, but it hurt and it humiliated her. Celeste, what happened? Her parents rushed to her. Oh my God, darling, are you okay? Are you hurt? Celeste sat up, clutching her ankle, her face crimson, not from pain, but from deep humiliation. It hurts, and my shoe is ruined. Amara! Amara! Amara hurried down, her face filled with concern, an emotion she had practiced to perfection. Miss Celeste, oh no! Are you okay? What happened? Celeste showed the broken shoe, the heel cleanly separated. What did you do? You sabotaged this. You were the last one to touch it. You did this. No, ma'am. I just handed them to you. Maybe they were old and finally gave out. You wear them a lot. It was a smart defense, and it only stoked Celeste's fury. These are original Louboutins. They don't just break, and they aren't old. Liar. Richard finally snapped, the stress from the business and the fear of being late exploding. Enough, Celeste. Get up. We're running late. It's a pair of shoes. When the company recovers, MAID's in shoes for all I care. Right now, we need to go. Richard, calm down. Our daughter is hurt. The business is hurting more. Every minute we're late is a minute lost for networking. Change your shoes. Limping slightly, Celeste stomped upstairs to change. The perfect night already ruined. When she came down, the three left in tense silence and climbed into the car for a party already poisoned. Amara stayed behind. She picked up the broken heel, smiled, and tossed it in the trash. Another successful day. Moments later, her secret phone buzzed. A message from Leo, forwarded from attorney Monty Carter. Good evening. Confirmed. The Montgomery property will be listed for a private auction in 3 weeks. Line up your funds. I'll handle the paperwork. Amara gripped the phone. 3 weeks. Sooner than expected. She looked at the mansion, once a symbol of betrayal to her family. Now it would symbolize her return. Soon, she whispered. Soon it will all be mine. The party was a disaster for the Montgomerys. Word spread quickly about Celeste's tumble down the stairs and her awkward limp. Her arch-rival, Beatrice, swooped in. Oh, Celeste, darling, I heard about your grand entrance. Down the staircase, was it? Celeste forced a tight smile. I'm fine, Beatrice. A minor accident. Beatrice's eyes dropped to Celeste's replaced shoes, simple and cheaper than what she'd planned to wear. Ah, I see. Emergency pair. How practical. Celeste burned with anger and shame. Meanwhile, Richard failed to win over his old partners. Everyone avoided him. He even heard whispers that the Montgomerys were finished and would soon sell everything. Ella tried to smile through the panic. The ride home was silent, but the moment the car door shut, Richard exploded. A complete disaster. Everyone avoided me. They know, Ella. They know we're about to fall. Richard, please. Not now. The driver could hear. I don't care. What are we going to do? We're ruined. From the back, Celeste cut in. This is all that stupid maid's fault. If she hadn't ruined my shoes, I wouldn't have slipped. I wouldn't have been a joke. Richard turned on her, incredulous. You're blaming the maid? Grow up, Celeste. Our multi-million-dollar company is turning to ash, and you're pinning it on a maid because you had a bad night. Do you not see the real problem? The problem is everyone laughed at me. That's the problem. Richard fell quiet, shaking his head, staring out the window. No hope. Meanwhile, as the Montgomerys argued in the car, Amara was in her room on a serious video call with Leo and attorney Monty Carter. Her posture was straight. She no longer looked like a mere housekeeper. Good evening, Miss Clark, the attorney said. As I mentioned, it's a private auction. The bank will invite a few pre-qualified buyers. We need to submit a letter of intent and a cashier's check for 10% of the minimum bid. What's the minimum? Based on the current market value, about $200 million. So, we'll need a $20 million check just to enter the bid. Amara nodded. The amount didn't faze her. Attorney Carter, I don't just want to participate. I want to win. Not just competitive. I want to make sure we take it. No one else gets a chance. That's aggressive, Miss Clark. It'll require substantial cash. Money isn't the problem. Tell me what you need, Leo. She added, liquidate our secondary investments. We need to be fully liquid in 2 weeks. Can you do it? I can, boss. Good. Attorney Carter, prepare all necessary documents. Let's end this. When the call ended, Amara heard the Montgomerys arrive, wordless and heavy with failure. She watched them from the kitchen, thinking that while they were out trying to polish their reputation, she was inside planning to take what was left. The next morning, after a quiet breakfast, Richard called his wife and daughter to the library for a formal talk. Celeste, call Amara. Have her bring coffee. Celeste obeyed. Moments later, Amara entered with a tray of 3 cups and set it on the table before Richard, Elalina, and Celeste. Richard began, barely acknowledging the housekeeper's presence. To them, Amara was just furniture. No ears, no feelings. We have no choice. I've spoken to the bank. We're officially selling this house and the land. Tears spilled down Elalina's cheeks. Richard, what will we do? Where will we live? We still have a small condo downtown. We'll move there. We have to downgrade. We need cash to cover our most urgent debts. Celeste was stunned, and the shock quickly turned to rage. No. I'm not leaving this house. I'm not living in a condo. Dad, do something. This can't be it. Richard's fist slammed the table. There's nothing I can do. Don't you understand? I have lost everything. The party's over. Get used to it. He stood and walked out, leaving Elalina and Celeste in tears. Amara stood quietly in the corner, watching the family that had ruined hers begin to collapse. Celeste needed an outlet, and as always, Amara became the target. Celeste stormed upstairs for a pair of diamond studs she wore often. Then she came down and confronted Amara, who was tidying the living room. Where are my earrings? The diamond studs I always wear. You were the last one to clean my room. I know you took them. I didn't, ma'am. I didn't take anything. Liar. You're all the same. Thieves. Come on. We're tearing your room apart. Celeste dragged Amara to the maid's room and ransacked her things. Amara's heart pounded, not from fear of the accusation, but for the box under the bed that held her family photo. Her secret phone was safe, hidden elsewhere. As Amara feared, Celeste found the box and opened it. What's this? Your trash? The faded De Leon family photo slipped to the floor. Celeste picked it up, studied the faces with disdain. What is this? Your family is ugly. No wonder you're a maid. Cheap looking. She tossed the photo onto the floor and kicked it away. Finding no earrings, she grew even more irritated. See, because of you, your room is a mess. Clean it. She slammed the door and left. Shaking, Amara picked up the photo and brushed her parents' faces with her thumb. Celeste's insult cut deeper than any shout or slap. As she hugged the photo, her phone buzzed. A message from Leo, all set. I spoke to Attorney Carter. He submitted the letter of intent. We're officially in. Her anger transformed into a cold, steady strength. Staring at the photo and the text, she realized this wasn't just about justice anymore. It was personal. Celeste would pay for every insult. The next day, anger sharpened into a clear plan. Amara needed to step out for something important. So, she approached Celeste, who was watching TV. Miss Celeste, I'm sorry to bother you. May I have permission to go out for a few hours? It's a family emergency. Celeste arched an eyebrow, unconvinced. What now? Don't bring your problems in here. What emergency? My aunt is sick, ma'am. I need to take her some money for medicine. Ugh, you have so much drama. Fine, go. But be back before dinner. If not, don't come back at all. Yes, ma'am. Thank you. Amara hurried out the gate and breathed more freely. Temporarily freed from her cage, she walked 2 blocks away and stopped. A motorcycle pulled up. "Let's go, boss," Leo said. Amara climbed on, and they sped away from the gated community and toward Amara's real world. They stopped before a modern building in a commercial district. On the door, De Leon Kitchen, Central Kitchen and Operations. Inside, a bustling commercial kitchen roared. Uniformed chefs and staff handled orders. Everyone greeted her with respect. "Good morning, Miss Clark." Amara's business savvy shone. She spoke with team leads, tasted new recipes, and reviewed sales reports. After the inspection, she and Leo went upstairs to Amara's office. Leo handed her coffee. "Do you see all this, Amara? You built it. Sometimes I want to drag you out of that hell house and never let you go back. Just a little longer, Leo. We're close, and I could never have done this without you. Thank you for everything." Leo looked at her with admiration and concern. "It's nothing. You deserve all this success, and you deserve to be happy." Their smiles revealed a bond deeper than partnership. But Amara had to return to reality. On the ride back, she put the mask of the simple housekeeper back on. Recharged, she walked into the mansion after Leo dropped her off. Celeste met her at the door. Perfect timing. Clean the guest bathroom now. It smells like a sewer. Amara didn't answer. She just looked at Celeste and, in her mind, made a promise. "Wait, Celeste. Soon you'll be the one taking orders from me." Days of tension ticked by. One morning, a bank appraiser arrived with a camera and clipboard. Richard had no choice but to let him in. The process had begun. "Amara, go with him. Show him everything." Amara followed while the appraiser measured and photographed. Ella Lenina wept silently in a corner. Celeste tried to confront the appraiser. "What are you doing here? Who gave you permission to photograph our house?" "Ma'am, I'm from the bank. Mr. Montgomery knows I'm coming. It's part of the sale process." "Celeste, stop," Richard said. "Let him do his job." For the first time, Amara saw defeat in Celeste's face, her arrogance powerless before the bank. As she guided the appraiser, Amara quietly sabotaged the valuation. "Sir, this is the primary bedroom. Some of the plumbing is old. When it rains hard, there's a small leak in the wall, and in the kitchen, the wiring behind the fridge. No upgrades since the house was built." Each helpful note was designed to nudge the official value down, a small edge for the upcoming auction. Desperate, Celeste looked for ways to stop the sale. She gathered her designer bags and jewelry to sell, hoping to raise quick cash. "Amara, come here." Amara stepped into Celeste's room. "Pack all of these into my suitcase carefully. I'm selling them." Amara obeyed, carefully wrapping each bag and piece of jewelry while smiling inside. She knew the money would barely dent the debt. A diamond necklace in particular reminded her of the success stolen from her family. That night, Leo called on the secret line. "It's done. I liquidated everything you asked. The entire balance of our primary accounts is ready for Attorney Carter." "Good. What's our total war chest?" Leo inhaled deeply. $300 million. Amara closed her eyes. Beyond the number, it represented years of endurance, work, and careful planning. "Thank you, Leo. Tell Attorney Carter we're ready." After the call, Amara checked her bank accounts. In the next room, Celeste counted the few million she'd scraped together from selling her past. False hope in her hands. The next day, Celeste brought the money to her father. She placed the bundles on the library table, a flicker of hope in her eyes. "Dad, look. I sold my bags and jewelry. It's a lot. Can't we use this to pay the bank? Stop the sale?" Richard studied the cash, then his daughter, a sad, tired smile on his face. "Celeste, our bank debt is well over $100 million. This won't even cover a month's interest. We're finished. His words crushed Celeste's last hope, and she broke down, sobbing. Amara heard everything, including the crucial detail: the debt exceeded $100 million. In the days that followed, the mansion grew more miserable. Richard drank constantly. Elenina locked herself in the bedroom. Celeste became even crueler to Amara. One afternoon, she lost it completely and raged while Amara cleaned. I hate this life. I hate everything. Watching her once composed employer unravel, Amara remained calm. Every night, she spoke with Leo for updates. Attorney Carter called. The auction is next Friday. He says there are 2 other interested buyers, big property developers. Good. Let them come. They want condos. I want a home. We don't share the same motives. As the day of reckoning approached, Celeste clung to one last idea. She had long planned her 25th birthday, an extravagant celebration, one final display that they were fine. She decided to go through with it. Amara, send out the digital invitations for my birthday. It's on Saturday. The guest list is on my computer. Don't mess it up. Yes, ma'am. In the library, Amara opened Celeste's laptop and saw the invitation for Saturday, August 16th. She smiled and changed the date to Sunday, August 17th, one day late. Then she sent the invitations to hundreds of guests with the wrong date. She would make sure that while Celeste prepared for her grand party, no one would come. It would be the last humiliation before Amara took everything. Celeste's birthday arrived. She went all in, her last chance to show high society that the Montgomerys were not finished. Amara kept busy with the preparations while Celeste fussed and tried to dodge reality. By 7 p.m., Celeste and Elenina waited. An hour passed. No guests. The only sound was the melancholy music of a string quartet playing to an empty hall. Celeste grew anxious. Mom, where are they? It's 8:30. It's impossible that no one's here. Maybe traffic, darling. You know how LA traffic is. They'll come. Even Elenina didn't believe her own words. Celeste couldn't help herself. She grabbed her phone and called her friend Beatrice. Where are you? My party started. Confusion colored Beatrice's voice. What party? Celeste, your invite says tomorrow, Sunday the 17th. Stephanie even texted asking why it's on a Sunday. Are you okay? It was like a bucket of ice water over Celeste's head. She hung up and ran to the library, opened her laptop, and checked the invitations. There it was, Sunday, August 17th, Celeste screamed, rage and humiliation braided into one. She knew who did it. Amara. Amara. She found Amara wiping tables in the dining hall. You did this. You changed the date. You ruined my party. You ruined everything. Amara burst into tears, ready-made, convincing. Ma'am, I didn't mean to. I must have clicked the wrong date. I've been so tired these past few days. I'm so sorry. Please forgive me. Her defense, the mistake of a weary maid under stress, was believable enough that even Elenina wavered. Celeste, stop. Maybe it really was a mistake, an accident. The noise drew Richard from the library, a glass of whiskey in hand. What now? It's one party, Celeste. We have bigger problems. Leave it. Celeste's last hope for a good night evaporated. The caterers and musicians packed up. The lavish food spoiled. The extravagant decor turned meaningless. Celeste stood alone in a vast, empty hall, sank to the floor, and wept. Her social life was officially over. From a dark hallway, Amara watched, face blank. She had executed her final humiliation of Celeste Montgomery before sentence day. The day after the failed party was worse than expected. Decorations still hung, a sad reminder. The expensive food sat spoiled on long tables. Celeste shut herself in her room. Elenina paced outside the door, begging her to come out. Richard slept drunk on the library sofa. Only Amara moved through the house, quietly cleaning the disaster she herself had created. When Celeste finally emerged in the afternoon, something in her had changed. The fire in her eyes was gone, replaced by a cold, empty stare. She stopped yelling at Amara. She stopped the petty insults, as if nothing mattered anymore. The once loud, bragging Celeste had become a ghost in her own home. 2 days before the auction, Amara had to step out for a final briefing. She used the excuse of buying special cleaning supplies, and her employers barely noticed or cared. Leo picked her up at their usual spot and took her to a quiet coffee shop far from the chaos. Soon, Attorney Carter arrived. "Good afternoon, Miss Clark, Leo." He set a folder on the table. "Tomorrow is the auction. Here's the final briefing. As I said, 2 big developers are competing, both aggressive. Our strategy is simple. Let them fight first, run the price up, and when one drops out, we go in with an overwhelming final bid. A knockout punch." Amara's face was calm, confident. "Understood, counselor. Do it. We win. Whatever it costs." "Yes, Miss Clark." After he left, Leo and Amara sat together. "Tomorrow's the day. I'm nervous for you." "Don't be. I've prepared for 10 years, and you're here. That's all I need." Leo reached across the table and took her hand. "To the end, Amara, I'm with you." The night before the auction, Amara couldn't sleep. She walked into the backyard garden. Her mother had told her that her father and Richard used to walk here, planning their dreams for the company. Amara looked up at the sky. "Dad, it's tomorrow. Wherever you are, I hope you're happy. I'll fight for what's ours. I'll take back everything they stole. I hope I make you proud." She turned toward the huge house, the mansion that had witnessed her family's betrayal and her years of endurance. Tomorrow, it would witness her victory. Friday, in a conference room at the bank's headquarters, the private auction began. Present were the bank's representative, Attorney Monty Carter, and representatives of the 2 major property developers. None of them knew the identity of Carter's client, only the name of the entity, ACL Holdings. Meanwhile, at De Leon Kitchen's office, Amara and Leo listened in on a secure conference call, the phone on speaker in the middle of the table. The auction started. "We will open bidding for the Montgomery property at $200 million. Do I hear 200? 200 million. We have 200. Do I hear 210? 210 million. The battle between the 2 developers began immediately. 220. 230. With each raise, Leo paced behind Amara, nerves twisting him up. Amara sat straight, eyes closed, listening. "Amara, it's at 240. That's huge. Shouldn't we jump in? Let them. Trust the plan." The price climbed. 250. 255. 260. Developer 2 hesitated. He looked at his colleague, who sighed and shook his head. "We're out." Only one rival remained. 260 from Developer 1. Going once, going twice. Before sold could leave the auctioneer's mouth, Attorney Carter raised his hand. "Excuse me, my client, ACL Holdings, would like to place a bid." All eyes turned to him. "The floor recognizes ACL Holdings." Carter took a breath, glanced at the paper Amara had authorized, and spoke with complete confidence. "My client bids $300 million. Silence swallowed the room. Developer 1's rep gaped. His bid had been leapfrogged, not by a few million, but by tens of millions. The message was clear, there would be no fight. The rep shook his head. "We're out. The property is yours." Carter smiled. The auctioneer's gavel came down. "Sold for $300 million to ACL Holdings." On the other end, Leo whooped. "Yes. Did you hear that, Amara? We won. Amara slowly opened her eyes. She didn't speak. A tear rolled down her cheek. Victory. Justice. 10 years fulfilled. After a moment, she stood and looked out the window in the direction of the mansion. Leo stood behind her, radiant. "It's done," she whispered. "Finally, it's done." The Montgomery mansion had a new owner. What the Montgomerys didn't yet know was that their new owner was the woman making their lunch. Auction day. Amara was in the kitchen, preparing snacks for her employers as if it were an ordinary day. Her face was calm, but inside, her triumph was blazing. She waited. Soon, a car pulled through the gate. A representative from the bank stepped out with Richard's own attorney. They entered the mansion and asked to see Richard and Ella Lenina in the library. Celeste, having heard the arrival, followed. Amara was ordered to bring coffee. She would witness yet another pivotal scene in the Montgomery saga. "Good afternoon, Mr. and Mrs. Montgomery," the bank rep began. "I'm here to officially inform you that the property was sold this morning at the private auction." Even though they expected it, the official words hit hard. Ella Lenina clutched her chest. Richard's face seemed to age years. He forced himself to ask, who bought it? Was it the developers? No, sir. It was purchased by a different party, a holding company called ACL Holdings. The Montgomerys exchanged looks. ACL Holdings meant nothing to them. ACL Holdings? Who is that? I've never heard of them, Richard muttered. It must be one of my enemies. Someone who wants to see me humiliated. He bought my house to shove my defeat in my face. His instinct was right. An enemy had bought the house. He just didn't know that enemy was currently spooning sugar into his coffee. The bank rep delivered the final blow. According to the terms, you have 30 days to vacate the premises. This is the official notice of eviction. After 30 days, the new owner will take possession. 30 days. That was all the time left in the house that had symbolized their wealth and power. The reality dug in. They had to go. After the visitors left, the family remained in a numbed state of shock. Not only were they broke, they were being evicted by someone they couldn't even name. Amara went to her room and called Leo. How did it go? They know it's sold. They don't know who bought it. They're scared and confused, which is exactly what I want. What's next, Amara? When will you tell them the truth? A cold smile touched Amara's lips. Not yet. Let them stew in uncertainty. Let them go to bed every night wondering who bought their house. Let them feel powerless and ignorant the way they made my family feel. I'll show myself on the last day, the exact day they have to leave. In the days that followed, the mansion became a prison of waiting. Every sound at the gate made them think it might be the new owner. Every shadow made them suspicious. They didn't know the new owner was living among them. For the next 3 days, Amara was not just their housekeeper. She was their secret landlord, silently watching the people who would soon be homeless. Power had shifted hands. 1 week left before the Montgomerys' move-out date, and still, no one packed. They lived in denial, praying for a miracle. Desperate, Richard found out who represented ACL Holdings, attorney Monty Carter. He decided to try one last card. Celeste, come with me. We're going to the buyer's attorney. I'll beg. Maybe they'll give us more time. Celeste had no other ideas left, so she went with him. Amara knew they were leaving. One call from attorney Carter was enough to keep her informed of her enemy's every move. In Carter's office, father and daughter pleaded. Attorney, please, Richard said. Ask your client to give us more time, or at least let us rent the house. We'll pay. I promise. Tell your client who we are. The Montgomerys. This house has been ours for decades. They can't just throw us out. Following Amara's instructions, Carter remained calm and professional. I'm sorry, Mr. Montgomery, Miss Montgomery. My client's orders are clear. The turnover proceeds on the agreed date, and I cannot disclose my client's identity. No pity, no room to negotiate. They left carrying the weight of final defeat. In the car, for the first time, Celeste saw her father cry. The quiet tears of a man who had finally surrendered. While they were gone, Amara wandered the mansion, not to clean, but to measure the walls with her eyes, imagining paint colors, planning a vegetable patch in the garden. Her thoughts were no longer a maid's. They were an owner's. A doorbell rang. A van idled outside, LNA movers and logistics. Amara opened the door. Leo stood there, clipboard in hand, posing as a moving company estimator. A perfect pretext to enter the house legitimately. He walked in, studying the rooms. So this is the place. Big. A lot to fix. He meant both the house and its toxic memories. Amara smiled. Yes, a lot. But it's going to be a happy home for us. With those words, for the first time, Amara officially invited Leo into her future inside the mansion, a promise of a life they'd build together. Right then, the front door opened. Richard and Celeste entered, carrying the weight of their final loss. They saw Amara and Leo talking in the foyer. Sir, ma'am, Leo said smoothly. I'm with the moving company, here to prepare a quote for your move. Celeste shot them a single exhausted, annoyed look and ignored them, heading straight to her room. Richard gave a stiff nod. Amara glanced at father and daughter, then at Leo. They were all here now, the former owners, the new owner, and the man who would be her partner in life, beneath the same roof. The eve of the move-out day arrived. At last, the Montgomerys accepted reality. The mansion was crowded with boxes of carefully wrapped luxury goods. The once opulent home now looked like a bleak warehouse. Elenina wept as she packed family photos. Richard barked orders to movers, whiskey in hand. Celeste just stood there, spent and defeated. In the middle of it all, Celeste called Amara. Amara, here. She handed Amara an envelope. That's your final paycheck. I deducted the cost of my Valentino dress you ruined. After this, you can leave. We don't need you anymore. One last assertion of power. One last insult. Amara took the envelope, opened it, counted the money, then looked at Celeste. Thank you, ma'am. Simple. No anger, no sadness, no pleading. Amara's calm only aggravated Celeste more. She had expected begging or a complaint. The quiet hurt worse than a scream. Amara went to her room, took out her small bag, and packed her few clothes. Then she grabbed her secret phone and called Leo. Tomorrow's the day. Is everything ready? Yes, Amara. Attorney Carter has copies of all documents. I'm heading over in a bit to monitor things. I'm waiting for your signal. Okay, the plan is set. See you tomorrow. Be careful, Amara. This is it. Night. Almost everything was boxed. The mansion felt huge and hollow. Celeste couldn't sleep. She needed to feel in control at least once more. She found Amara finishing last bits of cleaning in the kitchen. Amara. Amara looked up. Before you leave tomorrow, I have one last job for you. I want this entire house cleaned from floors to ceilings. I want it sparkling for the new owner. The order dripped with contempt. She wanted Amara to clean the house for the very person pushing them out, not knowing that person was Amara herself. Amara studied Celeste. For the first time in years, a small smile touched her lips. A smile Celeste couldn't parse. Of course, ma'am. It would be my pleasure. Celeste, unsettled by the response, turned and left. Amara stood in the near-empty foyer, grabbed rags and cleaner, and began her last assignment, not as a departing maid, but as a new owner, preparing her home. Each wiped speck of dust, each scrubbed inch of floor, erased the family's stain from these rooms. By morning, the Montgomerys would leave behind a spotless house, ready to welcome its true owner. Morning of the third day, moving trucks idled outside. The final boxes were loaded. The mansion, polished all night by Amara, gleamed but felt lifeless. In the center of the foyer stood the Montgomerys, Richard, Ella Lanina, and Celeste, taking in their home one last time. Off to the side by the door,